If they decided to breach the line, we could not stop them and we could not protect them.
Yeah, well, no.
But come on, move on.
Based on that logic, based on that policing, does that mean we should lock all women up at home so that they don't get attacked by men on the street now?
Well, that would work, but I don't think that's what the community wants.
Why don't you just remove the aggressors? Remove the aggressors. Well, go do your job. Do your job, remove the aggression.
In response to the escalating Israel-Iran war, Melbourne's grassroots Lions of Zion group, made up of mostly Jewish community members but also their allies, has headed to Spring Street armed with Australian and Israeli flags to demonstrate their support for Israel as the Islamist regime of Iran rains indiscriminate ballistic missiles across the Jewish state.
We went to the city with a few flags, no music, no noise, just wanted to stand and show we stand by you, Israel. As we got to Parliament steps, we were approached by police. They let us know that the anti-Israel, anti-Semitic crowd who have taken over the city week after week were going to be heading up to Parliament steps and that they wanted to avoid any kind of conflict.
He told us that there was the mob up there and that we would incite violence in that mob just by being close.
Against yourselves?
Yes, against us. There's no doubt that the people on the other side of the police line would like to get their hands on us.
Then a higher commanding officer approached us and in pretty distinct terms told us to leave the city. He wouldn't say it outright. I believe he knew that he didn't have the power to do so. He was holding a piece of paper telling him what the rules and what the law is because he didn't really know them off the top of his head. And he was pretty much telling us, you can't be here, we're giving you a move on order.
So it's unsafe for you to be here, it's unsafe for the community to be here at this stage.
Can we get the definition of where here is?
Yeah, in this area here.
Where does that mean?
Okay, look, I can explain it. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if you guys can move away from the area. What I need you to do is I'm going to give you some boundaries here I need you to move to at this stage for your safety, for the public safety, for everyone's safety, including police safety. I've weighed this up and I've looked at what do we have the capacity and the capability at this moment to be able to achieve to maintain safety of the public, to maintain safety of you, to maintain, well, that's all of you, to maintain safety of the police and so like that. I'm going to give you a direction. Okay, do you understand that? I'm going to give you a direction.
Can someone give a lawyer a call?
Yep, right. So I'm going to provide you with physical boundaries. I'm giving you the direction to move. If you refuse to move, you will be detained or restrained for as long as necessary to remove you from the area. Do you understand?
Right now we are calling a lawyer and
if you obstruct, resist, assault police in the execution of their duty, you may be arrested, okay, and you may receive a summons to go to court. If you return to the area within the boundaries set out earlier, you may be considered to be entering the area with the intentional breach of the peace. Do you understand?
Right now we are calling a lawyer and you can discuss it with him.
I understand that. However, I'm going to take action. If you do not move, then we will restrain, detain you for as long as necessary in order to impede you from going. We're going to work with that. We're going to work with that. Okay, you're directed.
Disgusting. I'm disgusted.
Move now, please.
Now, there's footage of another officer who was a lower ranking member who approached one of the other, activists, part of your group, and made essentially an admission that we've always suspected, but in no uncertain terms.
If they decided to breach the line, we could not stop them and we could not protect them.
Yeah, well, no.
But come on, move on. Come on. I don't want to manhandle you. I don't want to touch you. I would ask you.
I would prefer that also.
I would invite you just to move on.
But I need to have some reason
You've been given notification by
which I can look with my own eyes and your eyes and see is obviously not true.
The direction is
There
to
is
move
no
beyond
danger
there.
here.
Mate, move on or I will move you
Please
on.
point me to where I can see
Told
danger.
you the danger is ever present.
How does it feel to actually hear it finally from the police, from their own mouths, the truth about why they move you on?
So I've actually heard it nuanced a few times before. In situations where there were only a few hundred of the other side and there were a couple hundred cops, and they said, oh, we can't we wouldn't be able to control them. There's too many of them and not enough of us. But this was pretty blatant and explicit, him saying that they would lose control and they wouldn't be able to protect us. With a personal background in policing riots, I will say this: I have never in the world ever seen a situation where the numbers of police equal the number of rioters. If you cannot handle rioters when you have a sufficient number of police, then you may have to rethink your tactics and your training.
Let me make this clear. Are you giving the same boundaries to the Pali Rally as that?
Wait,
Are you
just-
giving the
just-
same
just
boundaries
listen to me.
that you talk about safety?
Listen to me.
If you are ambivalent to your safety rules that you've just announced, you would be saying exactly the same to the Pali Rally. Have you required the same of them? Answer the question clearly and concisely.
I'm not here
If not, you're playing a game here with us.
I guess the analogy comes up for me is the idea of, well, if you're going to target the victim to keep them safe, well, what stops police from telling women not to go out at night in miniskirts for their own safety? Stay home, otherwise we'll arrest you for your own safety. How's it any different?
Well, that's exactly what I said to this cop on the ground. He was battering me with this whole your safety, our safety, police's safety, community safety. I said, okay, I'm all for safety. I'm not trying to put anyone in an unsafe position. But the patch on your shoulder does not say uphold the safety, it says uphold the right. So where exactly is the balance between rights and safety? How much of the right do you forego in order to have safety?
Did you feel safer being moved on?
Honestly, I feel safe as an Australian being in Australia. I feel the hate coming from the other side. When I have my people standing next to me, I feel invincible. I feel unsafe when I have a bunch of cops pushing me and arresting me for just standing and holding my ground.
How did you feel hearing from a police officer that we are forcing you to move, we are going to force you to move if you don't move for your own safety?
Betrayed. Simple as that. I mean, it's a clear situation of what I am allowed to do, and because of the aggressors, I couldn't do it. And the police just said, stay away. It's just not a response at all.
Their argument is that they have to move you on for your own safety, and you were complied, but is that the way you think that the police should go on about it? Like, is that the way to keep you safe, is to move you on?
Well, I'm a citizen of Melbourne, and I can't see any reason why I can't walk down Spring Street dressed any way I want, carrying any flag that I want, and if there's danger that's going to approach me who's innocent and doing nothing wrong, then the police job is to address the danger. It's just that simple. And how this has been twisted into some complex overseas battle between good and evil and rah. I just want to be able to walk down the street safely, and it's the police job to make sure that I can do that.
I noticed next to you there was the older lady there with you by your side who had previously been choked by police in a similar kind of protest. Are you guys not worried about coming out at this point when either the crowd or the police will be hostile?
The worry for us is way larger than what will happen to us if we're in the city. The worry for us is this mentality and this hatred that's taking over Australia in general, not just in the city. This hatred that saw them marching down to us, to where the Jewish community lives in St Kilda, for absolutely no reason, saying from the river to the sea. Well, we're on the sea all around Melbourne. They could have gone any which way they wanted. They chose to come down to where there's a very large population of Jews. So it's not about whether we feel safe in the city. It's about whether we're safe in Australia and whether we're going to be going along the same lines as England and France has been going, where they are losing their country to what will soon be Sharia law.
What do you want to see police do?
I want to see police act like police. And I know that it's not the guys on the ground that are accountable. It's the people who are giving them the orders. And that comes from their commanders, their higher-ups, and the government. They need to be held to account that they serve the people, and that by serving the people, they need to keep the peace and keep the Australian values that we all hold dear.
You know, they set the precedent during COVID. They'll come in with riot police, they'll come with shooting rubber bullets, pepper spray, tackle old ladies to the ground, whatever it takes for COVID. And yet here we have, for 18 months, people who have hijacked one part of the city and you can ask any passerby and they'll tell you they're not a pleasant crowd. There's abuse, there's loud music, and it goes beyond peaceful demonstration. We showed what peaceful demonstration is, and it's very distinct from what they do.
So by giving up the city every single week to this group of hate is only enabling it to go further, and that safety that they say that they're upholding, they're actually diminishing it every week that goes by.
But they did keep you safe.
Sure, this week. But they admitted themselves. If the other side wanted to, they'd break through their lines and they wouldn't be able to protect us. Well, if you can't protect us, when you had at least 100 cops there, maybe you need a revamp, maybe you need a whole restructure.
So some of the police are obviously just following orders, or most of them. There's this obviously a senior thing. What would you say to the average cop that's there that can see what's going on, but is just following the orders to move you on rather than protect you?
Well, there's sort of a historical precedent about just following orders. But more to the point, these guys, I mean, when we were talking, they were obviously embarrassed having to carry out the orders that their superiors have put on them. And that's not a good situation for the police force. You know, they know they're doing the wrong thing and they have to do it every day. And if they go and try and address the mob rather than moving us on, then they run the risk of, you know, not coming home in the same condition that they went to work that day. So it's pretty clear what needs to be done. And it has been done on a couple of times. The police have, you know, sort of moved the mob to escort us through so that we could walk along the street. But it didn't happen yesterday. So who knows what will happen next time.
Are you going to stop going to the city to stand up for what you believe in?
No. There's just, somebody has to do it. The Lions are standing up.
What would you say to Aussies or people watching this saying, well, just give up going to the city to antagonise? Why do you antagonise? Why don't you just stay home?
I say that the time is long past where sitting on the fence is a smart option, where ignoring the bully, the schoolyard bully, and he goes away is going to happen. The conflict is here. If you hide from it, it's not going away, it's only going to grow larger. Evil persists when good men do nothing. It's time to stand up and have your say and be seen standing for what you believe.
If people want to join you and believe in your message, believe in standing up against a hate mob, how do they do that?
Feel free to come onto our Instagram account, join us, and there we publicly announce what we're doing. We're not hiding from anyone. We're not afraid, and neither should anybody else be. Once we're united, nobody can stop us. We will bring Australia back to being Australia.
If you think women in Melbourne should be allowed out at night and Jews free to roam in the day, make sure to like, comment and share. Then head to protectthejews.com.au, sign and share the petition demanding Victoria Police do their jobs, uphold the right instead of targeting the victims. Protectthejews.com.au. Help us send that message.